say fuck it. Alright. Boys ready? Alright, I'm gonna bring us in in 5, 4, 3, 2, and
Hello.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Is Line to Gain. I am Corey, and with me, as always, is Todd and Bobby.
And Arla.
Welcome.
We gotta keep this boys. We gotta keep that boys.
Oh,
Hello.
we have a good boy joining us, and we got something special joining us tonight, boys. So always bring the lunch pail to work, as you know. That said, I was gifted by my awesome mother-in-law a beer advent calendar. So if you're familiar with an advent calendar, every day of December you open a box and there's usually a trinket inside to commemorate the countdown to Christmas.
But this one's beer?
But this one's beer. And they're tall boys. And I'm on day 2, and so far we've got 100% German beer right now. So this is a Omat Weissbier, and I've never had it before. It's from Teissendorf, Germany. So I'm not going to say that. I don't know how to, so I'm not going to. But it's German beer, and I'm going to give it a shot. So here we go.
9.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. What kind? Is it a stout? What is it?
It's a Weiss beer.
Very nice.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Very nice.
Easy drinking. That's for sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
we
week
got a lot
13.
of great games to cover this week.
Week 13
from last week.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, are you just gonna irrationally skip over last week's game?
I was kind of trying to forget last week, if we're being honest.
I get it.
No, we'll get into it. Big news out of the baseball world, just to touch on it before we get into football, the lockout. We had a discussion about this earlier today in our group text. It's interesting. I read an article, like they've taken all of the players' names off of the MLB website. There can be no advertisements. They can't use the players' names for anything while the lockout occurs. So I didn't even really think about that. That's going to be very, very interesting as this moves forward.
Yeah, I think it's a big power move by the owners. It's their mindset is we're going to start flexing our might, and they have a lot more resources. They're better organized, typically, are billionaires than millionaires,
Right.
and not millionaires, if you want to consider all the minor league players in the major leagues that are basically scraping to get by. And here's the thing, just my 2 cents on it, from more of a generic perspective. What typically happens here is let's think about the MLB in general. Most players in the major leagues aren't millionaires. It's just not in the major leagues. I'm sorry. Most players in
the minor leagues.
in professional baseball are not millionaires. Most players in professional baseball make about as much as you and I do, if not less than you and I do, considering expenses and such. That said, what typically happens is the ownership and the league in general typically utilizes that as leverage to gain votes from those people that are depending on these paychecks, and kind of pits the two against each other, the all-stars, the high money makers, etc., versus the minor leaguers that really need to play baseball in order to make money. And I think you're probably going to see a lot of that happen here over the next 150 days or so. So it'll be interesting. Todd, I know you probably have some general thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, so I think the big thing that any baseball fan has to kind of strap in for is that opening day will more than likely be delayed. The Reds front office released a statement shortly after the lockout was announced, saying that baseball is working as diligently as possible to get players back on the field.
Sure.
But there was no rather than basically creating chaos during this initial meeting, they just basically shut everything down and said, we're not going to get to an agreement today. Let's just lock it out. And then we can dig in later. So later traditionally means after the winter meetings, which are coming up very, very soon. So this negotiation, I believe the last lockout, that negotiation took almost 200 days. There's a lot more money floating around baseball now than the most recent lockout. So, I mean, we could potentially be looking at a June start for Major League Baseball this year, which delays any sort of promotional runnings that like MLB The Show or like RBI Baseball, anything that is tied to Major League Baseball will be shut down.
Yeah, it'll be pushed out for sure. Rob jumping in here with a comment saying, "What's up, guys?" Rob, thanks for joining us. Rob's becoming a regular around here on Line to Gain. So I'm loving it, Rob. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's I mean, we could go on, and there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot more that's going to keep coming to light. So I'm sure we'll be diving in here, Rob. With another comment, I'm always here to show support. Yes, you are, man, and we absolutely
appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah, we do. So cool. We're moments away from kickoff here with the Dallas Cowboys in New Orleans taking on the Saints. Taysom Hill getting the start this week. It was kind of an undercover operation here by the Saints and Sean Payton getting Taysom out here. So before we get into recapping last week, let's go ahead and make our picks for tonight.
Cowboys.
That apparently Bobby is taking the Cowboys. I agree. I even though Taysom Hill is in, and last time my team went against a quarterback that wasn't normally their starter, they lost, and I'm of course referring to the Bengals versus the Jets and the enigma that is Mike White. But that said, Cowboys offense churning up a little bit. They're getting a couple of players back, or at least one of the receivers back from the COVID protocol. But I believe Amari Cooper is still out with symptoms, if I'm not mistaken. So CeeDee Lamb will be back, and then I'm blanking right now on the other wide receiver. Gosh,
Gallup.
Yep, there he is. But he was there for Thanksgiving. But anyway, Todd, who do you got going in this one?
Yeah, give me the Cowboys. I can't wait to watch New Orleans run the triple option at least half a dozen times tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's just real quick. I can pull up some over/under props on rushing yards and things like that for Taysom Hill. But out of curiosity, do you guys have anybody going tonight in fantasy?
Oh shit! I forgot to check my lineup.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't think I've got anybody for the Cowboys or the Saints. So I should be good.
I gave up on Marquez Callaway. He's a lost memory, and I have Michael Gallup on my bench right now in one of my leagues, just waiting to see what he does with everybody back.
So I have Dalton Schultz in 2 leagues.
I rescind that statement. I also have Dalton Schultz in my big money league.
He's like a top 5 scoring tight end this year in fantasy.
So I have Dalton Schultz and Travis Kelce in my starting lineup.
Nice. I have in one of my leagues, I literally have, these are my tight ends: Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts, and Dalton Schultz.
Jesus, that's all in one league.
It's in one league. I took Waller and then Pitts on the turn in a snake draft.
Everybody who was looking for tight ends is probably like, "Fuck you, Corey."
Yeah, and it's the dynasty league too, so I'm set up.
Oh man, you got Schultz for the dynasty pick?
Yeah, I have Schultz. Well, I got him off waivers, so yeah. So I have Pitts, Waller, and Schultz in my dynasty league. So I won't be drafting tight ends for the next 5 years, hopefully. Anyway, Taysom Hill with a surprising line here on passing yards, 216.5 for Taysom Hill. I feel like that's a lot.
I'm taking the under on that.
I was going to say, I feel like that's a lot. But
Jameis doesn't even throw for that. I can't imagine Taysom Hill touches that number.
Yeah, that seems a bit odd, no? I'm looking for...
Taysom Hill might just come out and light it up.
I'm looking for a rushing yards spread here. Taysom Hill, rushing yards. Well, no, okay, so that's not it.
You guys remember when he like almost broke fantasy
40,
football a couple years
42 and
ago?
a half. 42 and a half is the line on Taysom Hill for rushing yards.
I'll take the over on that.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Do you guys remember that when he started for the Saints when Drew Brees got hurt like end of week, but Taysom Hill also used to be listed as a running back, and shit just went haywire and the fantasy football land.
Yeah.
And people were just picking him up, and I got him in.
Yeah, because
one
in
league.
most leagues you can't play more than one quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I picked him up in a league that I was in, and I won by like 6 points. And because his numbers were out, it was like 40 something points because he had like 200 yards, like
Right.
150 yards in the air, 80 yards on the ground, and 4 touchdowns. And
Jeez.
yeah,
So
I gave up a bit. Yeah, it was great.
So it'll be a lot of fun to see what Taysom does tonight. We got a fun show planned for you guys. We're gonna recap. We're gonna recap last week real quick. Then we're gonna do something fun before we get into our picks for next week. I got a contender or pretender set up for you guys. So I'm gonna name teams that are on the bubble. I want you guys to tell me if they're a contender or pretender. Chat. I want you involved in this. I want your opinions. If these guys are contenders or pretenders, and then we'll get into our picks for week 13. So let's go ahead and Bobby, give us the recap, my
We'll
friend.
kick it off. Thanksgiving Thursday, first game on the board. Rob, your Bears taking down the Lions.
Victorious.
Well done, Rob. Your home team got a win. Todd and I accurately predicted that the Bears would beat the Lions. Corey was on the losing end of this one. Little bit of I would say where he lives had to do with this pick.
Yeah, I was emotional.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's the Lions that Lions usually show up on Thanksgiving, so I understood
Statistically, no, they don't. They're like.
I'm just trying to.
I know you're just trying to be a good friend right now, and I appreciate it. So the Lions actually have a losing record on Thanksgiving. I think they've lost and I think they've lost the last 5, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So
damn.
But yeah, I went on a flyer there. And it was a good game though. I enjoyed it. I thought they were going to pull it off actually, but
I did too.
Lions went out in Lions.
That game was devastating.
Yeah, turned out to be a good game.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
So
is
Dan real quick before we move on? Dan Campbell, dead man walking? Yes or no?
No.
Think they give him another year?
I think they give him one more year.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of I hope to agree. Rather, they kind of knew what this roster was going in, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean. He's literally like he's made so many games that weren't supposed to be games with that roster.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's great coaching, to be honest.
Rob with the comment said, "Not since Barry walked away too early." We're just throwing it back to the early 2000s.
Ouch.
It hasn't been 2 decades since they've won on Thanksgiving. Stafford and Megatron were around when they were winning on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Next game on the board, we had the Raiders on the road in Dallas.
Yeah.
All 3 of us took the Cowboys at home on Thanksgiving, America's team, and America's team let America down on America's
At
Day.
least the 3 of us. I'd say Bruce is probably pretty okay with that result, but
yeah, there were several cities that were very, very excited about the Raiders beating the Cowboys.
New York,
Dallas.
Philadelphia, Washington.
Yeah, just to name a couple.
Yeah.
It was an exciting game.
Yeah. Overtime.
I mean, and Derek Carr played the best he's played probably since, I don't know, he had Michael Crabtree. It's been a long time since he's thrown the ball that well.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson actually showed up too. Deshaun Jackson was out there making some plays.
Yeah, they lost Darren Waller early.
They did.
And Deshaun played well. Hunter Renfrow played really well.
Yeah,
Josh
he's
Jacobs
exciting.
played really, really well. Yeah, Hunter Renfrow is a playmaker.
Yeah, he's a dog.
I was really upset I didn't take him in my DraftKings lineup.
Yeah. I'm interested to see his evolution over the next couple of years because I don't know if Las Vegas has figured out how to use him appropriately yet. Because he's a guy that could catch 10 or 12 passes a game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he just doesn't do that.
he's kind of he has the ability to be the thorn in the side of a lot of defenses because he's just so shifty and quick and gets open really
Yeah.
well. And he's been his development over the last couple of years has been really fun to watch, and I think he'll continue to progress. So
Yeah.
I wasn't super high on him coming out. I obviously we saw what he did in the college football playoff with Clemson, and he was a big performer, a big target of Trevor Lawrence, and leading them to a national championship. But
Mhm.
I wasn't really super high on him just because the specs weren't really there. But he's just a
Right.
grind out man. Like he like comes out and just grinds and
Yeah.
works for every yard and catch. So
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of like primetime Wes Welker.
God,
Like,
I was trying to figure out a way to insert myself and say
you
that.
could, but here's the thing: as like a sports podcaster, we could say that about like most white wide receivers. Am I wrong? It's like
I was gonna
this
say
guy's
he's
like Wes
it was
Welker.
it's like if Wes Welker and
This guy's
Cooper
like
Kupp had a
Julian
child.
Edelman.
Like
I wasn't
that's
gonna say
Hunter
Edelman.
Renfrow.
Edelman was just Brady's gift.
Yeah.
Or Edelman or Brady was Edelman's gift because Edelman is not a good wide receiver or was not a good wide receiver. It's just that Brady could throw it to a needle between 8 defenders somehow.
What
and
were
it
you?
just magically gets in their hands.
What were you saying, Bob?
No, I was just saying I was gonna say he's like if Wes Welker and Cooper Kupp had a child, like that's Hunter Renfrow. Like he can cut you up short, but he has the ability to make the big plays too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, at least that's my thoughts. But I want to circle back to this. Do you think Danny Amendola was not a good wide receiver?
He absolutely should never even sniff the Hall of Fame.
I mean, one of the better special teams
it's not
players
even
of
close.
all time, but
It's not
Yeah.
even close. If you look at and most of the statistics, Danny Amendola is not even close to being a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver.
I haven't looked at his stats. I just you know what he's done on the field.
He's just
And
been on
obviously
Tom Brady's team, and
a lot of that has to do with Tom Brady.
yeah,
But he did reject Tom Brady's offer to go to Tampa, which I respected.
I mean he retired, right? Like didn't he?
yeah, so did Gronk though.
Yeah, but like he retired. Like Gronk didn't really retire. Gronk was like, I'm
Right.
getting my contract out of Foxborough, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I want.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair.
All right, moving on. We had the Bills on the road versus the Saints. Last game on Thanksgiving Day. Excuse me, goodness. The Bills took this game handily, 31-6. We all three had the Bills, so
Shocker.
not a shocker there. Moving forward to the game where I think we're going to touch on quite a bit. The Pittsburgh Steelers went to Cincinnati and got their ass beat.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah.
What else is there to say?
Bob. I don't know. You watched the whole game, right?
No, I did not watch a single second of this game
So
because
man.
I was not going to sit on my couch and get incredibly frustrated and pissed off. I just wasn't going to do it.
We are officially
So-
underway in New Orleans, by the way, boys.
here is my 2 cents, and I think we don't that the score speaks for itself. Most
Sure.
of the people that watch this podcast watch that game. Pittsburgh played like shit, and Cincinnati laid the wood. That's all it comes down to. Those are the real two varying parameters. Cincinnati came out with a very strong plan of getting Joe Mixon involved early.
Yep.
He destroyed Pittsburgh in the first half. Better than he's played all year. He was over 100 yards going into halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
He carried me to a fantasy win.
Taysom Hill
And-
already was 7 passing yards, by the way, right off the jump,
Oh
boys.
boy. Oh boy. But yeah, Cincinnati just laid the wood, and Pittsburgh just didn't have an answer. And Ben Roethlisberger played poorly, and the pick six that the Bengals had after the turnover was the icing on the cake for them to win that game. I've never gutturally screamed during a Bengals game before, and I screamed at the top of my lungs when Hilton picked that ball off.
I don't
I don't
believe
get that.
you, by the way. I'm fairly confident that you've probably gutturally screamed before.
Not during a Bengals game though. That was
Not
my
when
first,
he's watching at home.
Jeremy Hill
Yeah.
fumbled that football in 2015. What did you do?
Yeah, I sat in silence for a good 10 minutes. That's the God's honest truth. I sat in silence and just stared at my phone
That's
and just
funny.
kept looking back up at the TV and just looking back at my phone until nobody was around. And then I just like flipped my living room table and then I went to sleep.
Taysom Hill 2 for 2 and 18
Sounds
yards.
about right.
Make it 3 for 3 for 15 yards now.
For those of you playing at home, we didn't do picks on the air last week. I did pick the Bengals in this game. I almost changed my pick, but I wanted to keep the integrity of the picks. I had originally went with the Bengals. And,
So
stayed with the Bengals.
Real quick, Bo, to put on this, big takeaway is Akeem Adeniji is the Bengals' right guard of the foreseeable future now.
Yeah.
He's played amazing. What does that mean for Jackson Carman? I have absolutely no idea. I don't think the Bengals have an idea yet, but I don't think they're concerned about that. I think they're worried about the present. You know, they're 7-4, right in the mix of the AFC playoffs with six games to go, I believe. So they're not really concerned about that right now, about player development right this second. They'll get to it, I'm sure, and they'll continue to work on those things in practice. But as of right now, I think the Bengals' offensive line is solidified.
Yep, I agree.
And Steelers got a tough one this week. We'll get into it later.
Mm-hmm.
The next game on the board, Wham Bam Cam, rolling down to Miami to take on Tua and the Dolphins.
What a piece of shit.
So we talked about it a little bit on Tuesday after the show, after we got off the air. But on Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve, if you will, Todd and I spent a solid 20 minutes pretty much just fucking ripping Cam Newton a new one and just talking about how much we hated Cam Newton. And he made us look really, really smart. And thank you, Cam. We appreciate you.
God bless you, just falling right into my really strong biased opinions about you.
So who took the Dolphins in this one?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, you don't think Cam Newton's going to go out and go, well, at one point in time, he's like 2 for 12.
Yeah.
He
threw 4 picks.
He was absolute. I mean, he looked like a rookie quarterback first start, like just shit his pants.
Well, I think it's apropos for a guy that hasn't played all year to get the nod a week later and get his shit kicked in by a mediocre team when his opinion of himself is of the highest regard. Felt good.
Yeah.
Quick-
he was
quick
convinced that he
question.
could still play at this level, and obviously that's not true.
Quick question. Have you guys seen these previews for this movie, American Underdog?
Yes.
The Kurt Warner story? Do you know what I'm talking about? So this is basically a biopic about Kurt Warner and his story for coming into the NFL. And Bobby, since you haven't seen it, this is more for Todd, but what are your initial thoughts on this movie, Todd? Without having actually watched the film, based on previews alone.
It's a Hallmark sports movie.
I was gonna you took the words right out of my mouth. This looks awful. It looks so bad. The acting, the guy does not look like he knows how to throw a football. It just looks so
He was
bad.
a superhero in a movie, like a lower budget movie too.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta look this up now.
It's called American Underdog. It's a story about Kurt Warner, which is if you know anything about Kurt Warner, he does have an amazing story. This just looks like a total fucking cheeseball film. So, probably gonna watch it. And
Zachary Levi playing.
Yeah,
Kurt
Zachary
Warner.
Levi. And he
was in Thor.
He played Shazam. He was Shazam.
Oh, that's the Shazam guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Well.
Yeah, that dude is huge.
Yeah. No, again, Kurt Warner was not. This guy looks like he would be an inside linebacker.
Yeah.
And not the dude sacking your groceries at your local grocer.
Hey,
also,
but Dennis Quaid is playing Dick Vermeil.
Yes.
Might be the best part of that movie.
Just him and all his Botox.
Right.
Yeah,
And
his face.
Have you seen the
face that doesn't
Priceline
move.
commercials? Ooh. It's scary. He doesn't have
Yeah,
emotions on his face anymore. They're just all solidified.
nah. It's all that Disney. It's all that Disney money from the rookie.
The rookie, yes, sir.
Put it right into his face.
So the Cowboys are on the field now after getting the Saints to punt. Dak dropping back, rolling out, throwing deep, incomplete. Incomplete.
All right. Next game on the board, we had the Eagles on the road in New York versus the Giants.
What the fuck, Eagles?
Yeah, like what happened there?
Yeah.
Well, no, Jalen Hurts played terrible.
He had like 4 interceptions, didn't he?
3.
Three.
Very happy I didn't start him.
Yeah. So the Eagles literally had the world for the taking. Like the Cowboys lost. You know, you can go in and start to really put pressure on them, not, you know, just for the wild card, for the division, the way they've been playing. And they just shit the bed against an inferior team. Giants have been picking it up, though.
From the previous years.
Right. The Giants have been picking it up, though, over the last couple of weeks. I know they didn't win the week prior, but they played well.
Yeah. So that's the big thing, right? And that's they're not gonna get to the top of the leaderboard, but they're gonna ruffle some feathers,
Right?
And a realistic, like just from watching the highlights of that game, I mean, Jalen Hurts made some bad decisions, but
Yeah.
New York's front 6, 7, whatever they rushed was in the backfield a lot against Philadelphia. And I don't know if it's a poor offensive line or if New York's front line is just athletic and getting into the backfield, but they've seemed to have created just a little bit of chaos. So I'm interested to see.
And we talked about this. Do. We talked about this last week or the week before, but you're starting to see now, like the teams that started really, really poorly, but they're starting to put some things together throughout the season, giving, you know, optimism and something to be hopeful about. Unlike the Dallas Cowboys here, who went 3-0 against the fucking Saints, so that's great. Got a lot of money on you, Dallas tonight, so let's fucking pick it up. But anyway, so what's the next one on the docket there?
Yeah, we all took the Eagles. We all lost. Next game on the board, we had the Titans on the road in Foxborough.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of us took the Patriots. We were all 3 correct on that game.
They're rolling, man.
Patriots laid the wood 36-13. Derrick Henry not being there is just absolutely just killing this team.
It was okay the first week. It was okay. But now teams have schemed really well against them, particularly going against a defense like the Patriots. It's just making things really tough for them.
Bill Belichick's just a great coach. Yeah, he's gonna sniff that out, put a great game plan together, and eat you alive.
Sure.
If you don't have a running game.
Sure.
Yeah. Poor Ryan Tannehill.
Oh.
Ryan Tannehill. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Next game on the board was another game we were split on as my flyer pick of the week. We had the Falcons on the road in Jacksonville. 1-score game, 21-14. You know, the Jags stayed in it for quite a while. You know, they had plenty of opportunities to win this game, but ultimately, I think it was just Cordero Patterson that beat them.
Yep, that's it. That's all. That was going to be my input here. It's that Cordero Patterson beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and
Cordero Patterson versus the Jags.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey, you got anything in that game?
Nothing on that, but it looks like Cowboys are punting again after a penalty. So now it's 4th and 15, so Saints chose to take the penalty, back them up a little bit, trying to play that field position chess match. Oh, a slip. Another move. Oh, and the shoestring tackle, saving it from what could have been a big return there for the Saints. That would have been so. I'm biased, but I think the Bengals have the coolest uniforms in the NFL. I think the Saints have the second coolest uniforms in the NFL. Where do you guys land on the Saints uniforms?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Interesting point, Todd.
I can't follow that up. I think we just need to move on.
All right. Next.
No, I'm sorry. That was a very just blanket statement.
Yeah.
No, so what do you find appealing about the Saints?
I love the gold. I think it's beautiful. It's the gold with the white uniforms. They're just clean. They're super clean and simple. And that gives my engine revved up, man. I love it. And what I like even more is when they wear the all blacks. Those are just the black jerseys with the black pants and then the gold helmets. They just they're sexy.
Todd, who's your favorite uniforms outside of the
Oh,
Bengals?
I think the Bengals have the coolest helmet. I don't think we can argue that. Like, there's no helmet like the Bengals helmet, other than the
no,
Rams.
other than the Rams.
Yeah.
I really like the Chargers in the powder blues.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot. There's just something about
They just don't wear them anymore.
no, they don't. They wore them that first year that they brought that color scheme back, and they
Yep.
would do the all powder blues with the white helmet, and
Yep.
it was beautiful.
Yeah,
It
those
was a
were
thing of
those
beauty.
were sexy. Absolutely.
Dan Fouts-esque, if you will. And now Justin Herbert is playing well, and he's not wearing his powder blues.
Right.
It just doesn't seem fitting. They should bring him back.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if somebody could write the Chargers a strongly worded email for me about that, that'd be fantastic.
I'm on it. I got you.
Thank
I'm
you.
a huge
Thank you.
I'm a huge fan of the Seahawks, like neon green uniforms.
Really?
I love
the
those.
highlighters.
The highlighters.
Oh God.
I absolutely enjoy those uniforms.
All right. To
I
each
really
their
do.
own. Okay.
I think the Falcons have pretty cool uniforms too, to be honest. I like
No,
those
I like the
team.
Falcons. Those helmets they
Those-
wore last week on Thursday. Those are sexy, man.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, Hotlanta made a nice adjustment on their uniforms
Yeah,
because
those
they were
those were
pretty
sick.
boring, and now they're in the running. It's not like the Diamondbacks where they just change jerseys every 3 years because they
Yeah.
have to do something different. But like, it's nice to see Atlanta
Yeah.
not try to go 90s and do something new.
Yeah, they look good. Yeah, next game on the board was another game we were split on. Todd went solo on this one and took the Buccaneers over the Colts. Todd, great pick, man.
Yeah,
What
paid off.
inspired you to take Tom Brady?
Why do you
and the
hate Josh
Buccaneers?
Wheeler? Better question.
Also, not that I hate Josh Wheeler, but it was his birthday yesterday. So
Oh, happy
belated
birthday,
to
Josh.
Happy belated
You
birthday, sir.
old man.
Yeah. So why did I pick Tom Brady versus the Colts?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
Tom Brady.
okay. That's
Yeah.
it. Tom Brady
Yeah,
versus the
that's it.
Colts. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
it.
there's been a pretty
my logic.
pretty drastic regime change since then, but I feel you. I get it.
Yeah, that was really my
It was a
perspective
good
was-
game. You know, the high scoring game, 38-31. Yeah.
And the Colts made a nice last push there. Well,
Yeah.
Tampa scores with
It was a
like 2
back
minutes
and
left,
forth
they-
game.
Yeah, it was a really good game.
It was. Could be a Super Bowl
and I
preview.
think- Yeah, I see. So my thunder. That's exactly what I was about to say. Moving on. Get out of here.
Todd,
Did you-
we spent too much time together already, and now we're just syncing up.
We are simpatico, my friend.
Sympathetic.
Yeah, your cycles are on the
Yeah.
same week.
Exactly.
I like it.
Had to slip in some misogyny in there. Chicks suck. I'm married.
The Jets Jets on the road in Houston. Texans. We all three took the Texans, and we were all three very wrong.
Yeah. Also, the Cowboys might have the worst defense of any playoff team right now. Just a sidebar.
Even if they make it, they ain't going anywhere.
It was a great pick route there by who's at number 1? Is that Colston or
Oh,
Callaway? I mean,
Yeah, Callaway.
Callaway just absolutely didn't even try and hide the fact that he was blocking there, but it just created a wide open route. And Taysom Hill now, I think he's approaching 40 yards. Yeah, 30. He's 5 for 6 for 35 yards through the air right
Nice.
now. So should have hammered that over with like $1,000 or something. But but yeah, was Joe Flacco at the helm for the Jets? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Torch.
Yeah.
Torch.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor, and all of his unfortunate circumstances just played very, very bad.
Yeah.
Houston's
They're a
I
bad
still
football
think
team.
I think they're actually worse than the Lions.
I agree. That's why I picked them to be my the number 1 overall pick next year. I figured the Lions. I mean, and based on the way the Lions have played, like they have been so close on so many games.
6 games.
Yeah,
They've been within 3 points in 6 games.
and I think that is an attribute to Dan Campbell because the Texans roster is better. They have
Right.
yeah. You know, what I mean, they have Brandon Cooks. There's no one that is even close to Brandon Cooks on the
No,
Lions. So
no,
yeah,
no. TJ Hawkinson is the closest thing to Brandon
and that's
Cooks.
sad. That's the
Yes.
nearest comparison.
Right.
I will say, actually, you know what? I will say DeAndre Swift is leaps and bounds above anything out of the Houston backfield. So
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So all three of us took Texans in that one. Next game, we all three took the Chargers. They were on the road versus the Broncos, and Teddy Bridgewater took care of business.
wait, the Chargers lost?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, they did. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that
20,
yes,
28 to
yes.
13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I mean, what is going on with the Chargers over the last few games?
So
Go ahead, Todd.
I think if you are Cincinnati, you are very excited about them getting beat by the Broncos.
Yeah,
Primarily because that's a real swift kick in the dick. We've talked
56-yard
multiple
attempt,
times.
no good for the Saints, by the way.
Yeah, we've talked multiple times about how Denver is at, at one point in time was the worst undefeated team in football, and they're not a good team, and technically LA should be better than Denver, and they shouldn't be losing that game by 2 scores, and they did. So if I'm Cincinnati, I'm happy about that, and I think you got to come out. We can talk about it more when we talk picks, but like that's a good thing for the Bengals.
So
Yeah.
I came out and said, "What's going on with the Chargers?" Almost like saying, "Wow, the Chargers started off really well," and I'm looking at their season.
Yeah,
They have not performed well. They started out 1-1, then 2-1, 3-1. So I guess they did three after 4 weeks of the season, like 3-1. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. Um, I'm sorry. Then they went to 4-1 and they beat the Browns. If I'm reading this correctly, yeah. So 4-1. Actually, they did start all right. Then they dropped to the Ravens, dropped to the Pats, beat the Eagles, dropped to the Vikings, beat the Steelers, dropped to the Broncos. They're slowly moving towards 500 relatively quickly,
right,
and right now, as they sit at 6-5. So a loss this week to the Bengals would put them right at 500, scrambling to even get a wild card slot. So
right.
interesting developments for the Chargers over the last month and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, we'll get into more. I got some thoughts on the Chargers Bengals game this week for sure. Next game we had on the board, we had the Minnesota Vikings on the road in San Fran. Corey made the correct pick and picked the 49ers. Todd and I took the Vikings this week. Man, it was a close game.
It is a close game, and the 49ers are starting to play some good football.
Yeah,
They're turning it
Elijah
up
Mitchell.
for sure.
I think that I mean, you get Debo Samuel's had a good year. Brandon Ayuk is starting to not drop 40% of the balls thrown to him, and they've established a running game, right? They have a guy that they could get the ball that gets 25 touches a game, and that's really been the missing piece that has kept Jimmy G from winning them games, and because he's not a guy that can just throw 40 to 45 times and win you a game. That's not his style of offense. But having a nice offset in the backfield is making San Francisco better. And San Francisco's defense is doesn't get the credit that they deserve. They play very well on the defensive side of the ball, and that defensive line is scary. I think San Francisco is the team that doesn't get the credit that they deserve this year, at least thus far.
Right now, they're sitting at 6-5, and 4 out of those 6 have happened over the last 5 weeks.
Right.
They've won 4 out of the last 5. They've been on an absolute tear. They started off the season really, really poorly, but they've been on an absolute tear over the last month and a half, and are really starting to put things together. And to be honest, in a division where you need to be able to do that, but in the NFC, you don't. If you look at the playoff picture for the NFC, there's sub 500 teams that are quote unquote in the hunt for the playoffs.
Right.
So, San Fran can continue to win, go if they go 500 the rest of the year, they're probably squeaking into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Next game on the board was another one we had split. Corey took the Rams on the road versus the Packers. Todd and I took the Packers, and
Worst pick of the week by me.
we were victorious.
Yeah. Worst pick of the week. The Rams absolutely got their fucking lunch money taken from them by the Packers.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was a one-score game.
Yeah, but it wasn't close at all. Like Matt Stafford looked like shit.
Yeah, so I think that Corey is right.
That score is not very telling of how the game actually played out.
Yeah, the Packers handled the Rams.
Yes.
Handled them. And really had Matt Stafford's number most of the game.
They did.
It's just that Green Bay's defense is so bad that they give up points. That's really all it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at the Rams need to win that game, right? That's your momentum swing. Is you got to beat Green Bay, and then you got to move into this really the better part of the second half of the season, and you could go 500 and still make the playoffs. And losing to the Packers, that hurts them.
Oh yeah, it hurts them because they're vying for there's now it's basically a two-way race for that number one seed, and the number one seed obviously over the last couple of years has been extremely important because there's only one team that gets a bye in each conference, that being the number one seed, and it's pretty much a two-way race now between the Packers and Green Bay, in my opinion, at least right now. Those are the only two that look legit number one seeds right now.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Who did you say? You said the Packers and Green Bay.
I'm sorry, the Buccaneers in Green Bay. That's who I meant.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I kind of figured that, but you said it like, shit, am I having a stroke? I don't
I
know.
am.
Apparently, I am too because I agreed. So, well,
that's what happened. You just shook your head, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
shit.
Bob was like, I agree. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I was losing it.
I follow blindly. I
would follow you over the gates of Hemdor if that's what you're asking.
Well, how about right now? Like right now?
Right now.
I can't.
I have a thing. So I did make some bets
great
tonight,
Land of the
boys.
Lost reference, by the way.
I have some bets tonight. Caroline liking the stream, by the way. Caroline, thank you so much. Welcome,
Caroline.
So that's our new thing for her. We got the Bruce thing, and now Caroline, we've got the Outcast reference. So I got some bets tonight. I took Cowboy. I did some degenerate shit. I got a 4-way parlay. I got Cowboys money line. Dak over 8.5 rushing yards. I feel like it just takes one run, right? 8.5.
How is that even a bet?
It is.
What was the line on that?
8.5. That was the little.
I would have thrown probably $300 down on that.
So I didn't do that. Anyway, CeeDee Lamb under 63.5 receiving yards. And the Cowboys win by a margin of 1 to 13 points. So that bet is essentially plus $7.25. So bet $1, win $7.25. My over 6.5 wins for the Bengals hit this week, in case you guys didn't know.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And I did a PMI super boost on FanDuel. I got even odds, so plus 100, bet $1, win $1 on Cowboys minus 2.5. That's all they had to cover. The line was 6.5 at a minus 110 rate, and now I have plus 100 to get me to throw money down. So hey, fuck it, I did it. So that was bet $1, win $1. So
all right, we got 2 more games to cover from last week, and then we'll get into the picks for this week. We had the Browns on the road versus the Ravens. What's going on with Baker?
Dude.
Well, who the fuck gives up 4 interceptions and still loses? The Browns. Lamar Jackson's the only person to ever do it. Ever. In the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
The first time that a quarterback has thrown 4 picks and still wins.
Yeah. As a Bengals fan, we really wanted the Browns to win this game. I was really pulling for Cleveland in this one, but I just never really. At the end of the day, I kind of knew the Ravens were the better team, but all that being said, I'm pretty close. Like, one of my best friends is a pretty diehard Browns fan. I'd say him and I are on the same wavelength in terms of our illnesses towards our teams, and our addictions. But he's basically says like, yeah, Baker's not the guy, It's time. He's done. And his logic is, look, okay, if you're going to play, if you're going to suit up and come out and play, then being hurt is not an excuse. If you're hurt, don't play. Don't play. But if you're going to play, I expect everything out of you. And if you're not going to be able to do everything, why are you lacing it up? I mean, the logic's pretty flawless in my opinion. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Is Baker done? I don't know. I don't think so. But I think the writing is, in terms of an NFL career, I'm not sure. But in terms of Cleveland, I think it's over. I think the honeymoon's over. I think everything's done. I think he's expressing frustrations. Maybe it's from coaching, maybe it's from scheme. I'm not sure, but he's going off on the fans. Saying that those fans are probably the same ones that are cheering on our third down and making it hard for us to communicate as an offense. And why? You're saying shit like that when things aren't going good, right?
That's a child.
That's right, exactly. And Baker's kind of always been that way, like
right.
I
think that was going to be my point. I think you guys are forgetting that this is also the guy that has been kicked out of a college and then almost got kicked out of Oklahoma. Like, this isn't a guy that has a reputation for being a good team player or having good sportsmanship or being a leader by example. He won in Oklahoma, then he got his opportunity in Cleveland, and they won, and they did well.
He did well.
Corey said it. Yeah, he did well. Now the honeymoon's over. And I agree with the logic. If you are hurt and you are saying that the injury is causing you to play poorly, take the cleats off.
Yep.
Get better.
100%.
100%. Especially at this point, and especially at this point in time in their season, they're on a bye week. And if I'm Stefanski, I'm in a one-on-one with Baker, like, hey, can you do it? Are you 100%? The answer can't be yes, because he's not. He has a torn labrum. The answer will never be, okay, then we're going to bench you the rest of the season. Do what you do.
So
do what you need to do.
You brought up another person I want to talk about. That's Stefanski. The Browns are one of the most penalized teams in football.
Yeah,
that's coaching.
That and maybe at the end of the day, though, these guys are fucking professional athletes. They're professional football players. When we were in Pee Wee, false starts, is that on our coach? No. We were coached how to not do a false start, how to know the snap count. Holding, is that coaching at that level? At a younger level, sure. High school football, maybe. It's about technique. It's about executing. But at the same time, where else do you put the blame? You put the blame. It always falls back on the coach. Anytime,
especially in Cleveland.
Well, and not only that, they're getting penalties for like 12 men on the field and things like that, like stupid shit. That is 100% coaching. So I was just playing a little bit of devil's advocate there for a little bit, but at the end of the day, I do agree, Bobby. It's like, is Kevin Stefanski a dead man walking if this doesn't work out? Like with Baker, it's...
Yeah, look, the Browns have been, not to justify...
I mean, I picked these guys to win the fucking division this year.
Right. But they have been riddled, specifically on the offensive line.
Fair.
They've had a point where 3 of their 5 offensive linemen were third string, and the 4th one had just gotten signed off the practice squad.
Yeah.
So a big part of discipline and good communication on the field is chemistry, right? It's chemistry between talent. And you don't get that when you're running 3 different levels of linemen. So yeah, you're going to get penalized a lot. They also make a lot of communication errors between players coming off and on. I think they have like almost 8. I think I read 8 or 9 12 men on the field penalties. That's ridiculous.
Insane. It's insane.
That's way too. That's 6 too many. It happens twice a year because some guy's not paying attention and the other defensive back that was the nickel back just forgets to run off the field. That's it. That's the time, only time that really should happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's happening a lot in Cleveland. So there's I was talking to a guy I work with who's a big Browns fan, and that's what's the next step? And he immediately was like, Kevin Stefanski will be fired.
Wow.
That's crazy, though.
That is crazy. It's the second season.
That's what Browns fans are acclimated to, though.
That
Yeah.
would be, and say Stefanski's gone and Baker stays. This would be his fourth head coach in 5 years.
And then it would also be another offensive coordinator too.
Yeah, another
Which
offense to learn. Which how do you? I mean, what do you expect? You know what I mean? It's hard enough to learn one NFL offense, let alone five.
Yep.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Anyway,
Yep.
Well, if anything, he'll be able to pull from some past experience whenever he has to learn the new one.
Because he's already read.
he's got
700
those
plays.
Yeah, he's got those study skills down.
Right. Last game of the week, Seahawks on the road in Washington. We all three took the football team. All three were correct by a slim margin of 2 points.
Yeah, but I think this one was pretty much in control for a large. At least I actually went to sleep early, so that's not fair for me to say. But the Seahawks might be one of the worst fucking teams I've ever watched at this point, man. They are so bad. They're so
terrible,
bad.
dude.
They're
Okay,
so bad
man.
because in what you're seeing is like
Let's be
how
waving goodbye to Pete Carroll.
you might be saying goodbye to Russell Wilson at this point, man. This guy does not look good at all.
Okay, but here, Bobby, if Russell Wilson leaves, Bobby is like this in his Steelers jersey because he's
Take
ready
him.
to open up his arms to Russell Wilson.
Take him.
I just think that I'm kind of with Corey. I think that he's got some time left, but this is not the same Russell Wilson. I don't know if a change of scenery makes a huge impact.
He's also fucking clinically insane. He's weird as fuck. Like, he's just the most awkward motherfucker on the planet. And I think if you put him in that Steelers locker room, everyone, like specifically the wide receiver core, because there's something in the fucking water for the wide receivers there in Pittsburgh, but they would just look at this guy and be like, this dude is a fucking loser. Like, they wouldn't hang out with him. Russell Wilson's weird, man. He's a weird fucking dude. Follow him on Instagram if you don't believe me. Just watch the video. He's weird. He's just an awkward dude. Yeah. Serial killer type vibes, if you got what I'm saying. So, but he didn't look good before the injury though either, guys. Like if he goes, I welcome him in Pittsburgh because you're just kicking the can 7 years down the road at that point in terms of the rebuild for Pittsburgh. I would really, you gotta draft a quarterback in my opinion, but.
Yeah, and you're a year or two away from that being a good pick too for any team right now.
I mean, yeah, you could say a year or two, but at the same time, you could be a year removed because 2 years before Joe Burrow was drafted, you weren't thinking that he was going to be even a first round pick. So
Sure,
you never know
I'm saying specifically based on where
they're going to end up in the
quarterbacks
draft.
are aligned. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean Pittsburgh's quarterback has turned into likely a top 3 pick, and that's really the only quarterback that I've seen from this year that's going to be in the draft. That I'm like, all right, this guy could probably at least hold his own in the NFL.
Well, CeeDee Lamb just had like a 30-yard run, so I'm a little fucked on my over/under. I think at this point,
Was it a catch or a run?
it was a catch. It was a 33-yard catch. It was like a little pop screen.
Nice.
I got him at 63.5.
So he needs 30 and a half, 31 yards.
He needs 31 more receiving yards.
No, there's a lot of ball game left, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So an update.
Oh, I'm sorry for yelling.
You're good.
That Michael Gallup touchdown is fucking sexy, boys. Oh my God. That might be catch of the year.
Yeah, it's good.
That is just so pretty. Going up full extension, both feet in, dragging that back foot. I mean, that is just Dak saying, "Go get it, big fella," and he does it. And I mean, it's not even relatively close if his feet are out of bounds. That Gallup touchdown is so good.
Yeah, great field awareness there by Gallup.
Didn't even look.
No, he just knew exactly where he needed to be in the end zone to prop those two tootsies in there.
And you know where that's done, fellas? That's done on the practice field. You know how many times they've run that to where Michael Gallup's like, all right, this is where my launch point is, right? This is where I'm going to jump. and this is how
Yeah.
high I can jump. And Dak's like, all right, bet I can put the ball right here, and you can go get it. And that's oh god, that's so good, so
It
good.
helps that Micah Gallup is like 6'5". That helps a little bit. Or 6'4",
Yeah,
whatever.
that was an absolutely beautiful catch. Sorry for the delay.
It's okay. Let's hear these standings. I'm edging a little bit closer.
Yeah, Todd's getting closer. So Corey still has the season lead, 114-65 record. There is now a two-way tie for second place.
Or last place. Bobby just looked at me like, I will set you ablaze.
Don't let him talk down to you like that, Bobby. We're doing good.
Yeah, 112-67. We are 2 games back. So Todd got 2 games back this week. Corey and I were dead even at 7-8. Todd went 9-6 on the week.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Ooh, your boy's back.
Well, you're
got
still in
his
last.
swagger back.
You're still in last. Let's calm down.
At 2 games back, get your head out of your ass.
Just saying, season ended today. Where would you be? Buying dinner. That's where you'd be.
I fucking hate when
Todd,
people say
we'd be
that.
going Dutch, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We can get skylines for everybody.
So that means I could
Hey.
get an even more expensive dinner since you guys are splitting it.
No. It just means
You can get the large
Tony's.
3-way instead.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Yes, I will have another Mountain Dew.
You know what? I'll take 2 Mountain Dews with my order.
You
I
know
know
what?
I only need 1. I will have 2 though.
Bring the Cholitos till I pass out, please.
Bring me one of your finest shakes.
We're celebrating.
Oh man,
All right.
Toledo sounds delightful. Sorry, you. Oof. Whew.
God
wow.
damn it!
Todd,
What
you
have I
okay over
done?
there?
What have I done to myself?
No.
I'm
Do you
100.
need to go change your shorts?
I'm 185
No.
miles away from the nearest skyline. What am I doing?
Yeah, we got to stop talking dirty to you.
Right. Anyway,
All right, now we're on to week 13.
but before. Before week 13,
Let's go to our contender or pretender.
we've got contender or pretender, my friends. First on the list, this team started off setting the league on fire, coming out and dominating, scoring touchdowns, left, right, left again. Mind you, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-1 to start the season. And of course, I'm talking about the Los Angeles Rams, who have since dropped 1, 2, 3 in a row and are sitting at 7-4. So I ask you, Rams, contenders or pretenders?
What's the one common denominator since they've lost?
Von Miller.
Oh.
I was thinking more OBJ, but yeah, Von Miller.
OBJ is not the
Since
common.
Von Miller posted that tweet where I went to bed, whatever, woke up 7-1.
Went to bed 4-4, woke up 7-1.
They have not won a game.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Von Miller sucks. Kick him out. He's not even going to be in the Hall of Fame.
That tweet ruined my life. Yeah. So
ruined his.
So I think I still think contender, honestly. Coaching wise, he'll figure it out. Like they'll figure it out. I think most teams, at least at one point in time in the year, hit a rough patch. Theirs unfortunately has just been 3 weeks in a row.
Sure.
And they face pretty good opponents too in those weeks. So I think they're still a contender in my opinion.
So their losses, the last 3 losses have been Titans, Niners, Packers. So fair statement. Bobby?
Yeah, no, I'll dovetail off that. I think they've had a pretty rough stretch of 3 games. The Titans probably being the least of that 3 because I don't believe Derrick Henry played in that game. I think that was the first game back.
That was the only week that they had AJ Brown and Julio Jones, though.
Yep.
We haven't seen all 3 of Tennessee's stars on the field at the same time.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, you got to think adding Von Miller, that adds a dynamic piece to that defense. I I don't disagree that I don't think Von Miller is a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But
Really?
Ooh, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
Really?
I'm interested.
Damn.
But anyways,
No.
Yeah, let's
Why?
no, let's I think I'd rather get through I want to get through this segment because I really like this. We could say this for another time.
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
This is a real conversation.
It is.
I think that
we'll put it on the clipboard for later.
Well, you know what?
Right now-
Next week we'll do Hall of Fame or not. Von Miller will be included in that.
Okay.
So will Julian Edelman.
And watch me go look at this guy's stats and then just eat my shorts.
Okay, Bart.
Eat my shorts. But no, I think they're a contender. They've got an easy matchup a relatively easier matchup than the previous 3 this week. I think they'll get it rolling.
So yeah, I in terms of Super Bowl contender, I don't know. I don't really know who out of the NFC is better than Green Bay or Tampa Bay. I don't. So that, and maybe I should have prefaced this. I'm talking about, can they win the Super Bowl? I'm not confident really in any team. Like Arizona, they're still a show me team for me. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
Green Bay and Tampa Bay are really the only two out of the NFC so far that I'm like, yeah, they can win a Super Bowl. The Rams, after what I've seen over the last 3 weeks, I don't know that they can. I'm going pretender here. I'm going pretender with the Rams. We'll see what happens. Next one. One of the teams of those 3 straight losses, contender or pretender, this team has dropped 2 in a row. I'm talking, of course, of the Tennessee Titans. Contender or pretender?
Without Derrick Henry, they are a pretender 100%.
Yeah. I don't think there's even a conversation there. Derrick Henry is. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the one thing they have going for them is their schedule.
Yeah.
They only have 5 games remaining on their schedule. They play the Jaguars, Steelers, 49ers, Dolphins, Texans. They could go 4-1.
They could.
They could sneak out with the number 1 seed.
Right, but they could also lose to the Dolphins and still get into the playoffs.
They could, but they could go 4-1 and get the number 1 overall seed.
Right, which is outrageous.
It is.
Because whomever they play next would give them the shellacking of a lifetime.
Just pistol whip them like they fucking hit their mother. Yeah.
No, yeah. The only thing that you can hope for is that AJ Brown and Julio Jones can figure out how to be on the field at the same time by then, right? And even then, you still don't have a ground game.
Yeah. In terms of my prereq from the last statement, I would align with you guys, and I would go pretender on this one. I don't think that they're built for a Super Bowl without Derrick Henry. So
especially in the AFC.
So starting off the second quarter, Dallas is up 7-0. Taysom Hill drops back to throws and gets his ball swatted down. Saints looking at 3rd and 8. Taysom Hill dropping back, looks left, he's rolling out. He's got the first down and slides for a 10-yard rushing first down for the Saints. Next on the list, another team that's kind of had some up and down, I guess we'll say. The Buffalo Bills, contender or pretender?
Oof.
This is probably the toughest one on this list without seeing the rest of it.
You have seen the rest of it.
Well, I have, but I don't remember it. It's not a steel trap in here when I'm at work.
So the Bills are sitting at. Let me give you some information. The Bills are sitting at 7-4. Okay, they won last week. That was my Mr. Mackey impression. Okay, they won against the Saints last week. Lost to the Colts the week prior. Beat the Jets. Lost to the Jaguars in a 9-6 barn burner, if you will remember, eliminating me from my Survivor League. Beat the Dolphins. Lost to the Titans. Beat the Chiefs. Beat the Texans. Beat Washington Dolphins. Lost to the Steelers in week 1. Currently, the Bills are at 7-4, sitting in 2nd in the AFC East. In terms of playoff seeding, the Bills are the number 6 seed behind the Bengals and ahead of the Chargers. Again, at 7-4, all three wild card teams. Excuse me, two of the three wild card teams are at 7-4. Chargers at 6-5. So the Bills, contenders or pretenders?
So here's the thing: they got to play the Pats twice still.
Yep,
They play on Monday, and I think they play. That's their last game of the season.
correct.
They also have to play Tampa Bay in 2 weeks.
They don't have an easy road.
No. So with that being said, I'm going to say pretender.
Taysom Hill with a play action rollout to the left, touchdown. He has over 80 yards on the first half, burning it down.
Yeah, so I'm going to say pretender.
Okay.
I think New England beats them twice.
Wow.
I really do.
Okay.
I think that they've lost a couple games that they needed to win, which drops them down into the outside of the wild card, because I think that the Chargers still have the opportunity to win some games looking at their schedule going into the end of the season. And look, I could be wrong. They could go out Monday night and crush the Pats, and Josh Allen could match up better against Mac Jones, and they score a ton of points. But with the way the Patriots have been playing, and with Tom Brady being Tom Brady, losing 3 of your last 6 hurts a lot, especially right now. So
Right.
that's where I get the pretender.
I will say pretender for a different reason, because they just don't have a running game.
Fair.
That is true.
And if you're
Josh Allen can't do it all. Everybody's game planning to shut him down. I mean, your best option is Singletary. Like that's not a good option to be your best option, and they're not going to make it deep if they can't figure out a running game.
I am gonna say pretender for a different reason. I think they split with the Patriots. I think they win the finale. I think the Patriots are rolling right now, but and the Bills are reeling a little bit. So there's an allusion to my pick for later tonight. But I think that I think that the Bills are a little bit more experienced, and that's why they get that win. And I think that can help them in the playoffs a little bit. But like Bobby said, I don't think they're built for road wins in the playoffs just yet.
Sure.
The defense isn't there, the running game isn't there, and those are things that you really, really need if you're going to be successful down the stretch. So, all right, these have been boring. I want to get a little bit more controversial. Patriots. Are the New England Patriots a contender or a pretender?
Contender.
Okay. Why?
Look, they've, after let's call it 3 weeks at the beginning of the season of trying to figure out the mold and what works best for them on both sides of the ball, they figured it out. They have been handily beating teams the last 4 weeks. Yeah, so you lose to the Cowboys in overtime, then you beat the Jets by 40. Then you beat the Chargers, who were at that point in time climbing.
Sure.
And then you beat the Panthers handedly. Then you smoke the Browns, and then you beat the Titans, who are the best right now. Have the best record in the AFC, right? So they're winning games that they're supposed to be winning.
Does that make them a contender, though?
Absolutely, yeah. If you're not winning football games, you're not a contender.
Well, that's not
games.
what I meant. They're beating a lot of these teams that you had just mentioned are depleted to injury.
Right. Well, not just injury. They suck.
Sure, but they're still winning those games.
Sure.
Right? It's different. It's different if we just talked about the Chargers are losing games that they shouldn't be losing, right?
Rams.
The Patriots on the other side, yeah. The Patriots are winning these games and they're taking care of business correctly.
Yeah, I see your point.
And I think a lot of that just comes down to scheming properly on both sides of the ball. So Belichick has figured out how to use who he has available on both sides of the ball, and that's how he's winning. And look, Monday will be a good test of it because I could be completely wrong and they could get their shit kicked in Monday. I really doubt it, but yeah, I think they're a contender, and I think they end up. I mean, that they're a potential Super Bowl team in my opinion.
Wow. I'm actually going to go the other way. I think they're a pretender. The reason being is I don't think Mac Jones has what it takes to carry them and win a Super Bowl yet. I think he needs a little more time.
I think that's fair. I'm the same way with you, Bobby, and almost for the exact same reason. A rookie quarterback's never won a Super Bowl. It's not happening this year. Mac Jones is not going to win a Super Bowl this year with the Patriots putting it down right now. It's just and again, kind of emphasizing those points. Those teams that you had mentioned, I think it was the Browns, the Jets, the Panthers, and I think it was the Titans. Those are all teams that are either reeling or hurting or you know. Yeah, and they did what they were supposed to do, and they won the game, and that's great. Am I ready to say they're a Super Bowl contender yet? No, because I haven't seen them go out and beat the Chiefs. I haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like the Chiefs right now. Like if they played the Chiefs right now, I don't know. If they played the Buccaneers right now, I don't know. I don't think so. You know, so I need to see a little bit more before I'm ready to say that. Now that said, you know, let me pull up the Pats schedule over the next couple of weeks. I'm not entirely sure as to who they've got coming up. They got the Bills, Colts, Jags, Dolphins. I mean, even there's not a contender in that list according to anyone on this panel right now.
Colts.
I mean, I guess yeah. The Colts could be there, but they have a good defense, a good running game, and you know a quarterback that can light it up when he needs to. I guess, but
that's the best team they're going to face in the next.
That is the best. That yeah, I would agree with that. That's the best team that they're going to play in the next couple of weeks, and even still, I don't know that they're there. So. I won't. I might not believe it till they're in the AFC Championship game. To be honest with you,
they will 100% make the playoffs. I think. I just don't know how deep they're going to go. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, that was a good one. I'm glad we got a little bit more disagreement there, but more so discussion. Next one, Cincinnati Bengals, contender or pretender? Bobby, I want your opinion most.
Man, this is tough. You know, for the same reason that Todd said the Patriots were a contender. They lost games they shouldn't have lost. They've lost a few games they shouldn't have lost. They've obviously won games that they should have won, but the ones that stick out more to me are the games that they should have won and didn't. I think I need to see a little more consistency. I think, you know, obviously that absolute ass whooping they delivered last week showed you, you know, they played a complete game. You know, what they're capable of when they play all four quarters, both sides of the ball, well, all three sides of the ball. If they can stay consistent, I say contender. But it's going to come down to that consistency thing for me. So if I had to pick, I would say pretender, just from a consistency piece.
Here's the thing: the Bengals have one of the hardest ends to the schedule of their schedule in the NFL. They have to play the Chargers, they have to play the Niners, they have to play the Ravens again, and they have to play the Chiefs. And they also still have to play the Browns again, who absolutely waxed them. That's a different team now. And then they also have to play the Broncos. So, in theory,
most of those teams have winning records.
Every single one of them, except for
all of them have winning.
All of them. Yeah. So, I mean, you're on the other side of, you know, we've talked about a couple of teams that have fairly easy schedules for the rest of the way. I would say the Bengals have some of the biggest challenges to get into the playoffs for the rest of the season. We just talked about the 49ers are definitely on the upswing. The Chargers are they're looking to stay above 500. And then you also have to play one of the top teams in the AFC and the Ravens. Oh, and then you still have to play Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, who are also rolling. So, look, I think that there's a good chance that they go 2-4 in this last stretch. And, it could end bad for the Bengals. They could also go 4-2 and only, I foresee them in that way. They only lose to the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah, I look, the bias in me says contender because I want to see them be successful, but I'm not super confident in any answer that I provide. I can't get my bias to really provide an honest answer. Seriously, I can't.
No, and I totally appreciate, understand, and can relate to that. So I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to fucking roll into it. The Bengals are a contender this year. It's not. I'm rolling with it. I'm going deep because what do you need to go deep into the playoffs? Good quarterback play. They have the best rated, one of the top rated quarterbacks in the NFL, top 3 in the AFC right now, in Joe Burrow. You need a running game. They have arguably the best running back in the AFC this season in Joe Mixon. And you need a defense. And the Bengals defense is top 10. They're the only team in the AFC that is top 10 in scoring offense and scoring defense. The only team. They're complete right now. They look good. Do they have holes? Yes. Every team has holes. Yes, they dropped some games earlier in the season, and I think that's good for them. I think it was really good for them because it showed them you can't fucking let up in this league. You can't do it because if you do, you're gonna get beat. And that's what happened. They got routed by the Browns. They got beat by the Jets when they should have blown them out. Same thing with the Bears, excuse me. And they should have beat Green Bay. They should have beaten Green Bay. They should have, but they played off. They didn't play to win, and they lost. So, those things considered, looking forward, there's only 2 games that I'm concerned about the rest of the way for the Bengals. 49ers and the Chiefs. The other ones I'm willing to walk through fire and say that the Bengals are going to win them. I think they win against the Chargers. The Browns, I think they come back with a vengeance. Last game of the season, a lot on the line. They're going to want to win that game. Ravens, I'm not scared of the Ravens. I think the Ravens are inflated. I don't think the Ravens are as good as... I don't think they win the division, personally. Chargers, I'll get to that here in a little bit. And Broncos. Broncos have been my, what did I call it? Fraudulent enemy number 1 since week 3. So I'm not scared of the Broncos whatsoever, especially not even out in Mile High in December. I'm not worried about it. So yeah, I'm saying fuck it and rolling with my bias, and I'm saying that they have it right in front of them. They're in the driver's seat. The Bengals, if they go 4-2 the rest of the way.
Yeah, they win the AFC North too,
yep,
which is enormous.
Yep, huge. So it'll be fun, but fuck it. All right, what do you think? One more, and then, or do we go into picks? You got any bandwidth for one more?
Let's pick him. I'm ready to pick him.
All right, let's get into it.
Colts on the road in Houston. I think this is a no-brainer for all 3 of us. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Colts are going to wax the Texans.
I'm going with the Colts. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I would have happily written your name underneath the Texans.
Yeah, I think we could see a 200-yard on the ground game for Jonathan Taylor.
I think Jonathan Taylor bounces back this week. He is my comeback player of the week. He had a bad week last week.
What, he only scored 2 touchdowns?
For Jonathan Taylor, he didn't have a Jonathan Taylor week. I think he had just over 100 yards.
Ugh. The worst.
Come on, you got if you're
Step
not
it
150
up.
or better, I don't want it.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Don't you know people have money on your ass, literally, for fantasy? Yeah. Get it together, Jonathan.
It cost me a lot of money in DraftKings last week, sir.
All right, and I also love the fact that he goes by Jonathan and not John. Yeah. I don't know why, but I enjoy it.
It's proper.
Yeah.
It's apropos, if you will.
Right on, Toddathan.
Just start calling me Bobbert.
Bobathan.
Robothan.
Oh, God, yes.
Robothan.
Cheerio, Robothan.
Hello. Next game, I think, is also another easy pick. Vikings on the road in Detroit. I got the Vikings in this one.
No Dalvin Cook. I'm a little concerned. No, it's the Vikings.
Yeah, hard to bet against a team or bet on a team that hasn't won a game. I did it last week foolishly. I'm not doing it this week. I'm going Vikings.
Oh man,
This
it's
next
true.
one could potentially be a toss-up. We have the Giants on the road in Miami. Two very mediocre teams that have shown some light in the last couple of weeks. Corey, I'll let you lead this one off. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins. I think Tua's playing really well. I think that the Dolphins are playing really well as a team and starting to turn this thing around. They're one of the more improved teams of this second half that we've been going through, and I'm going with the Dolphins. The Dolphins could squeak into the playoffs. I'm not throwing it out there. I'm not throwing them off just yet, but I'm just saying they're on their way. The Dolphins fans should feel good. Also, you know who leads the league in receptions for rookie receivers?
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle leads the league for rookie receivers
He
in receptions.
balled out last week.
He's a. I mean, Corey. You said him when you talked to rookie wide receivers. He was the best wide receiver after Jamar Chase in the class.
Correct.
And you could argue that a healthy Jalen Waddle was the better receiver than Jamar Chase in
You
that
could.
class.
In my opinion, he would have won the Blitnikoff if he wasn't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, look, you have no idea who's coming out for New York. There are so many people hurt all the time. Most of them are wide receivers. You just don't know who's going to be on the field.
Yep.
And with Tua starting to play well, Myles Gaskin carried the ball well, is starting to carry the ball well. And then Jalen Waddle. I mean, just having Jalen Waddle on that side of the ball for them has turned that offense all the way around. Now that he's getting involved, that's a different team. So I'm taking the Dolphins.
Just a real quick kind of recap what I was saying there. The Dolphins have won 4 games in a row. 4 in a row. After starting the season, I apologize here, 1-7.
Yep.
They've reeled off 4 in a row. Here are their upcoming opponents. Giants, Jets, Saints, Titans, Patriots.
They should win 4 out of 5.
They could. And they could do it. So if they won 4 out of those last 5, they would finish the season at 9-8. 9-8.
Crazy. It's crazy.
That'd be a big win for Brian Flores.
After starting 1-7, fuck yeah, he might get coach of the year.
Right.
The people at the beginning of the year saying that Brian Flores was overrated
or might get fired. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores is a great coach.
I do too.
I think football fans like Brian Flores. I think people that don't understand the game don't like Brian Flores.
He's what Mike Tomlin should be.
Absolutely.
I would love for Brian Flores to coach Steelers. 100%.
Yeah. Hard to pass up on living in Miami though.
Yeah, for sure.
All those South Beach honeys.
I am also taking the Dolphins in this one, but I want to ask you guys a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Tua is the real deal?
What do you define that?
Do you think? Do you think he's going to be a franchise quarterback? Do you think he's going to be able to stay healthy enough to continue the level of production that he is putting up over this last month?
I think he'll be the Dolphins' starting quarterback throughout the length of his rookie contract. I'm willing to commit to that. And I think he has the ability to lead them to some winning seasons. Now, you could argue that the AFC East is on its way to being one of the toughest divisions in football with Josh Allen and the Bills, Mac Jones and the Patriots, Tua and the Dolphins. I mean, Zach Wilson and the Jets, not really, but those are 3 pretty heavy hitters right there. So whether or not it's like, oh, the Dolphins are going to be a powerhouse, probably not. But I think Tua is going to be, a better version of Ryan Tannehill in terms of success. I think, if that's fair, I guess.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think that the one thing that you're not going to get out of Tua that you want from a franchise quarterback or an elite quarterback is that vocal leadership and the guy that's willing to puff his chest and pound his chest for his team. Tua's not that guy. He wasn't that guy in Alabama. But I don't want to write him off, but I think Corey's prediction is safe. and saying that he will be their starting quarterback through his contract, and then we very likely see him on another team after that. I think Miami moves on from him after that.
Fair enough.
Wow. Okay. I'm not willing to go there just yet, but I think it's just, you know what's really funny? Could have been on the Lions.
Good point.
So could
Yep.
Justin Herbert.
Next game on the board, Tom Brady heads to Hot Atlanta to take on Matty Ice. I think this is another easy pick.
Yeah, I'm going Buccaneers.
Yeah, Falcons can't stop Tom Brady.
Well, can Tom Brady stop Cordero Patterson?
No, because he's not a defensive player. Trick question. Who was that hurt? Who was that hurt there for the Cowboys? Who was that on the field? Was that Dalton Schultz? God damn it.
I hope for everything that is holy that it wasn't Dalton Schultz, because I need to win this week.
It was, but he looks okay now. He's standing on the sideline. What the French, Toast?
Cramp? Had to be a cramp.
Yeah, I think it was a sore labia.
Give me.
Oh.
It was the menorah, so we're good.
That's a Hanukkah joke. It's Hanukkah right now.
Yeah. So culturally relevant. There.
And anatomically correct. Mr. Jones would be proud.
Next game, Jalen Hurts headed across. Maybe just.
Did you just say across with a T at the end?
I did.
Wow.
Across. Did that sound more like an ED at the end? I can't say it.
It's okay.
It's crossed.
It's you.
Eagles on the road versus the Joe Flacco-led Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look for the Eagles to bounce back this week.
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
I'm going Eagles.
Yeah.
Flip pussy. You wanted to go Jets. You thought about it for a second, Todd. I know.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I did.
I know.
Right, I did.
I know.
I thought about it.
I could see you looking down at whatever shit you got in front of you. You're like,
Here's the thing. Not at one point in time in my whole entire life have I trusted Joe Flacco to get me to the promised land. and that promised land being that I don't have to buy both of you dinner.
Especially when Jamison Crowder is his number one option.
Yeah. Who does and no Michael Carter. You lost your guy that was your
I'll tell you who's done well the last couple of weeks, at least, or at least better, is Elijah Moore.
Sure.
They have a lot of very small wide receivers.
Yeah,
that's the thing that the Jets have. All of their wide receivers are 6 foot or shorter.
Well, the one they went out and signed got hurt and tore his Achilles to start the season, and Corey Davis. So
yeah, good. I was really high on him out of college.
I love Corey Davis. I love him. He's got a great name.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a shitty name, but whatever.
Hey yo.
You choose to do this with me every week. I just want to
next game, we got the Cards on the road versus the Chicago Bears.
Mark Ingram busting one out for about 30, but looks to be coming back.
Yeah, Cardinals, Kyler Murray headed to Chi-Town to take on
the Bears.
The Bears. The Andy Dalton-led Bears, that is.
Red Rifle, baby. And he will continue to do what he does.
And the Bears also very likely don't get Allen Robinson back this week either.
Yeah.
So, oof. Looks like David Montgomery is going to have to put everything on his shoulders. That's a scary thought.
I really like Khalil Herbert, man. I think he could be, he could get a shot somewhere else and really get a bulk of the carry or end up being their lead back if they move on from Montgomery, which I'm always a fan of. Like, unless you can get a really team-friendly deal, like the Browns got with Nick Chubb or the Bengals got with Mixon, like a really friendly, like I would never, ever, if I was the GM, putting on my GM hat, I would never make that Ezekiel Elliott deal. Ever. And look what's fucking happening. Look what's happening to the Cowboys with Ezekiel Elliott. There's a reason you don't do that. Because you're not going to get that ROI. You're not on running backs
No.
or wide receivers. You're not. It's just not going to happen. Statistics are, with my opinion, in this. So unless you can get a really team friendly deal, a lot of cash loaded, and you don't extend running backs and you don't extend wide receivers. So unless they can do that with David Montgomery and then move on to Khalil Herbert, I really like Khalil Herbert. I like what he does when he gets the ball in his hands. I liked what he did when he had the opportunity to be the lead back as well. So Rob, you got something exciting there.
Taysom Hill just threaded the smallest of needles.
He's looking good, man. He's looking good. He's 11 of 17 for like 120 yards right now. Like he's looking really good.
He got the most ridiculous NFL quarterback contract that's ever existed from them.
Well, it's not a quarterback contract though. That's the thing.
It's great. It's brilliant. I love it.
It is. But basically what's happening right now is Trevor Siemian is sitting on the sideline going, fuck, again. I get hurt. Someone comes in and looks good. I'm fucked. And he probably should, like, Taysom Hill is absolutely the better option in my opinion. But hey, well, I digress. The Bears versus who are they playing again?
The Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals win this one. Sorry, bro. Because, hey, Kyler's back, baby. What am I going to do?
Back.
Bet against Kyler?
DeAndre's back, too.
It's hard. It's hard to bet against those guys right now. They're the best team in football records-wise, right? But
facts.
Redbirds.
Oh, a nice little screen pass. Holy moly.
Are you ahead of us now?
I am.
How does that happen? How do you go from being behind us to ahead of us?
A screen pass to the tight end for about 35.
The tight end. That's actually what it says on the back of his jersey. It says end. Actually, it just says,
and I couldn't see it.
It just says tight, and then it's a arrow pointing to his asshole.
Vanette.
Yeah,
that is his name. That's a great joke, by the way.
Thank you.
We should do one of those weeks where we tell bad dad jokes to see who can laugh and who can keep straight face.
Yes, I'm so in. Rob with a couple of comments. He says, I can't believe you all picked against Who Dat Nation tonight. They are gonna take this. They're currently losing, so I'm okay.
It's 10-7. I'm not shaking in my boots yet, Rob.
Probably watching the Thursday night Twitch stream. It's ahead of my live feed. And it looks like Taysom Hill just threw an interception, but it's not an interception, which would have been Trayvon Diggs' like 90th interception on the year.
And I am watching the Twitch feed, by the way.
Good for you.
I need to start doing that. Shit.
No, I pay for cable. I refuse to watch anything other than that.
I don't. Well, I got rid of my cable. So.
You know what? When you have children and you're trying to get dinner on the table after you bring them home from daycare, and you're trying to get shit together, and work sucked, whatever, and I want Team Umizoomi, I want Peppa Pig. It's God damn it. All right. Oh, was that an interception? Holy
No.
Shirts and pants. He might have got a toe drag. Oh my God. We might have just seen touchdown of the year and interception of the year. Holy Shirts and pants. Wedding Crashers reference for those of you keeping score.
He got both feet in.
That looks like an interception.
He got both feet in. That's a pick.
Bro.
What an unbelievable pick. Yep, he got both feet in before that. Oh, my goodness.
Bro.
That's
Rob,
a pick.
Who Dat Nation? Oh, my God. That's so sexy. That is the best interception of the year. Does that ball move? It doesn't. That ball does not move. That ball is secured.
Both feet were down before his elbow was down, too, out of bounds. Wow.
That ball is secured. That is awesome. Awesome.
What an absolutely unbelievable interception.
I love football. So cool.
All right. Let's get back on the train here. The Chargers on the road.
Rob, hold on.
Nasty natty.
Rob with a comment. Okay, whatever. Give them time. The Cowboys will blow it. They always do. He's got a fair point.
It already had.
Historically, he is correct.
All right. Well,
Yes, honey, your hair looks good. Looks great. Looks beautiful.
my only concern for the Bengals this week is that they take this week and they don't take it as seriously as they need to take it.
Heather, liking the stream. Thank you for joining us, Heather.
What up, Heather? I'm still taking the Bengals this week, but I have some concerns. I need them to show me this week that they can follow up a dominant win with another dominant performance. I don't think we've really seen two back-to-back performances from them that have been extremely dominant.
So they haven't won 3 games in a row since 2015? Just a little sidebar there.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Bengals. I have my concerns, but I still think they're the better team right now.
I have very little concern in taking the Bengals. In fact, I feel this is one of the more confident picks that I have this week. To put aside my bias for just a second, the Bengals have arguably the best running back in the AFC, or you could even say in the NFL, in Joe Mixon.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
he has.
He's not the best, but he's
Derek,
up there.
With Derrick
Ooh.
Henry being injured, with Derrick Henry being,
Do you think Joe Mixon's better than Jonathan Taylor?
I do.
What?
I do believe that. Yeah, I think when you go ground for ground, I think Joe Mixon is the better running back between the two of them.
You know what? I would
athletic.
say the Colts. Jonathan Taylor has the benefit of the Colts offensive line, so make sure you remember that.
Right. I think ground for ground. If I want a guy in my backfield,
Is it ground for ground or pound for pound?
Pounding the ground.
Ground in your pound, taking it to town.
I'm taking Mixon. And Joe Mixon is hitting his stride because the Bengals offensive line is hitting their stride. And I think that is their benefactor in this game. I don't know if the Chargers, if the Chargers can't stop Joe Mixon, they can't stop the Bengals.
Hey, so. I'm all on board I'm all on the Joe Mixon train. I need him to continue to dominate, but I find it hard to put him above Jonathan Taylor right now.
Sure. I understand that. And again, the Colts offensive line is the top 3 in the NFL. So Jonathan Taylor, I'm not discrediting him at all. His ability is
really
exceptional. Great. And I said that right out of the rip for when the Colts drafted him the second round. That was an absolute steal to get him. But I think Mixon has the larger upside in the long term, whatever long term you want to call a running back's career in the next 3 years.
Yeah, and so kind of just beating the same drum here. Defensively speaking, the Chargers are allowing 145 rushing yards a game. 145 rushing yards a game. They're on pace to set the NFL record for most rushing yards allowed in a single season. Over 2,400 rushing yards is what their defense is about to give up.
Well, their defense is going to be the all-time rushing leader.
Right. They are on pace to have an abysmal season. 145. I mean, shit. Even if the Bengals get 2/3 of that, I say they win. You know, if the Bengals post up 100 yards on the ground, game over, in my opinion. You take the ball out of, you put the ball in Mixon's hand. You're making it so that, you have to respect that run, which they do. You're looking at the FedEx Ground Player of the Week, the NFL Offensive Player of the Week, Joe Mixon, coming into this game. You don't think the Chargers are going to be trying to stop the run? What's that going to do? What are you going to do about Chase? What are you going to do about Higgins? You saw what he did on a 40-yard bomb jump ball into the end zone. What about Tyler Boyd over the middle? It's to me, the fact that the Chargers defense is so inept makes it to where the Bengals defense doesn't have to be perfect against a really good Chargers offense.
Right.
And so I'm taking the Bengals.
Yep.
Obviously.
Next game should be an easy one. Jags on the road versus the Rams. Should be a big bounce back week. Should be a big bounce back week For Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, and the Los Angeles Rams, I got the Rams.
Yep, give me the Rams.
Yeah, Rams.
Cool. Washington football team on the road in Las Vegas. Washington playing some very good football right now. Coming off, Raiders coming off a solid win against the Cowboys last week. I think this is going to be a good game, but I'm going to take the Raiders at home.
Boys, this is the tightest line of the week.
Nice.
Who's favored?
Nick, liking the
Las
video.
Vegas.
Also,
What's the line? Like 1.5?
Bruce, thank you for
One.
liking the video.
1.
1 half point.
I gave it an extra half
point.
because I didn't think it would actually be 1.
Yeah. Look, I this is my variant pick. I'm taking the Washington football team this week.
Interesting.
I think that I just don't see Las Vegas taking care of business against them at home. I don't. I think Washington is just picky enough and cerebral enough on the offensive side of the ball that they're able to control the clock and get a couple scores and control that game.
Corey, who you got?
I got the Raiders. I think they are riding high after that last win against the Cowboys in overtime. They're feeling good about it. They had a nice long break as well, and they're feeling good, and they're going to come in and take care of business.
Right.
They're better on paper.
Fair enough. Next game on the board, the Baltimore Ravens at Heinz Field against the Steelers. I have to do it 2 weeks in a row. I gotta go against my team. They just got shellacked by the Bengals. I don't think the Ravens are as good as the Bengals, but I think they are better than the Steelers. So I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I got the Ravens in this one too. Just not seeing. I hope I'm wrong. Let me put it that way. I'm rooting for the Steelers. I want the Steelers to win badly, but
They need to win. This is gonna make or break the rest of their season.
And but I didn't see a lot. I didn't see a lot of confidence. Any reasons for me to be extremely confident in the Steelers going forward.
Yes. Toddy G.
Toddathan.
I'm taking the Ravens. You guys have both made very valid points.
We convinced him he was gonna take the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at my phone to try to see if I could.
Wait, is that Amari out there? Is Amari Cooper playing?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I thought I just saw number 19 grab a ball.
He is out there.
I'm tripping. Thought he was out. My bad. Bruce with a you got it. So what do we say to Mr. Bruce? 1, 2, 3. Bruce.
Good day, sir.
And a good day to you.
CeeDee Lamb is lined up on a linebacker right now. CeeDee Lamb's lined up on a linebacker.
Pass interference.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost offensive, though.
Yeah, but he's all over his shoulder pad.
I mean, it looked like Amari pushed off, too.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It could be a.
Oh, that's offense. That's.
I think that's still defensive.
In this league, yes, but like if you from an altruistic perspective, if you look at what Amari Cooper did there too, he literally gets down, leverages, and uses his left arm to just push this guy off.
Dak with a dime to Dalton.
There we go. Is it a touchdown for Dalton Schultz?
No.
Damn it. Anyway,
but it's another catch. Next game on the board, another easy pick. We got the smoking hot 49ers on the road versus the very down and out Seattle Seahawks.
those 49ers are so hot right now.
Smoking hot. I like that description of a football team.
I went ahead and wrote all three for the 49ers because I don't think anybody's taking Seahawks.
Nah, you're right. You did the right thing.
I think the next game is pretty easy, and then the last one, I think that's where we're going to have some difference in opinion.
Heather with a comment here that I missed, so I got to get on this. She said her coworker loves the Bears, And so she always says it just like, duh, Bears.
Duh, Bears.
Anyway, back to you,
Um,
Bobby.
Well, thank you. We've got the Denver Broncos, fraudulent enemy number one, versus the up and coming Kansas City Chiefs.
I like that they're up and coming.
Wait, what was the 49ers game? Did I even pick that?
49ers, Seahawks. You're not picking Seahawks.
It's true.
I made your pick for you.
Rob with a comment, go Hawks. Bruce with a comment, go Seahawks.
What?
I mean, maybe they just hate the 49ers, which I get.
I guess. Yeah, I guess I get that.
Who
Schultz with
doesn't?
another catch, by the way.
Let's go, Dalton. What a name. I'm going to name my dog Dalton now. It's not true. I'm naming him Munoz.
Hopefully they can just run that same route. He can just catch a touchdown.
Again, yes, for 6, please.
Can we dial that up? Let's see here.
Let me
Dak in
Let
the
me get Mike on
shotgun.
the phone.
3 wide right. CeeDee Lamb in motion to the left side.
Fuck CeeDee Lamb.
Dalton Schultz going over the middle. He ran the post again, but he didn't go to him.
Well, fuck you, Dak.
Holy smokes. Did he catch that? No, he didn't.
No,
He
no
caught
way.
it, but he wasn't in
Yeah,
bounds.
that right leg was way up. Yeah, fuck off, CD.
What a catch, though,
You
man.
compact disc sheep.
Man, the Cowboys have absolute hands. They remembered to bring their hands to the
That's
game
literally
today.
what his name is. Compact disc sheep. That's his name. Baby sheep. Compact disc baby sheep.
All right. We got the Broncos on the road versus Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. I would be pretty confident to say that we were all taking the Chiefs in this one.
Versus the who?
Broncos.
Oh, I don't know. I'm really high on the Broncos. Yeah, take the Chiefs.
Same.
Yeah, that's not a tough
Bruce
one.
says that
Even
he
the
hates the
fart noise.
Seahawks, by the way. Like with a hard H. I specifically put a gap between hard and H there just to make you uncomfortable. But yeah, with a hard H. Hard, like almost like when you say cool whip, he hates the Seahawks. Or
Hard.
Is
That's a hard
that
hit.
about right, Bruce?
wheat thins.
Thins.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the Hawks. I'm sorry, 49ers. I'm tripping. Your boy's out. My bad. The 49ers.
Hates the 49.
I get it. I think most grown men in Cincinnati that are around the age of 55 to 70 probably feel the same way.
It's true.
There's somebody that came in the chat in this Twitch feed with probably one of the greatest names for a fantasy football team that could have existed a couple years ago, and it had to do with the Rams.
Okay, hold on. Is there a player involved or just the Rams?
There's two Rams players involved. One was a running back.
Give me the okay. So one is obviously Gurley.
2 girly, 1 cup.
Yeah, 2 Gurley, 1 cup. Come on. Was that not a name in one of your fantasy leagues?
Not with the girly portion. I believe somebody. I believe Todd, you were 2 something 1 cup, weren't you? Wasn't that you?
Yeah.
Like Cooper Cup?
Yeah.
With KUPP.
It was. Yeah.
What's
It
that a
was 2
reference
cups- It
to?
was 2 cups, 1 cup.
What is it a reference to?
A video that scarred me. in
I'm
high
fucking
school.
with you, Bobby. I know what it is a reference
I know.
to.
No,
Okay.
I was.
I thought you were about to start describing it. Oh my
No,
god.
I just wanted to touch on it. That
I was
video.
like, Code Brown. Don't describe the
I saw
video.
the pain in Bobby's eyes when you asked that question. That's a man that's been hurt by that video on more than one occasion.
No, just one occasion. And it was
That's the same.
Let's move
and
on.
all in one fell swoop. Bobby
Monday
got
night.
2 reels, 1
Monday
cup,
night.
And a lemon
Hold on.
video in the same-
I got
same
a
second.
comment here from Rob. He says he has to hate the 49ers because my boy Phil, aka Tonsil Tickler, is Chicago born and raised and hates the Bears and is a 49ers fan. let's back up a little bit. This guy's name is fucking Tonsil Tickler.
Yeah, Phil,
Best
aka the tonsil tickler.
best name ever. Like that guy's
I
just
love
telling
it.
you straight up. This is who the fuck I am. I
Leave no
can
doubt.
Yep, I can lean on it as a tripod if I need to. That's just who the fuck I am. That's what he does.
Oh shit.
Monday night,
Good for him.
Mac Jones and the Patriots head to Buffalo, take on Josh Allen and the Bills.
His game. Here's the thing. His clan tag is 3-inch, and then his Call of Duty name is Tonsil Tickler.
Those are the most inflamed tonsils in orthodontic history.
and then Rob says he calls him King Coke Can.
You can, when you're really angry at him, just call him Mr. Folgers Can or Coffee Can. I think that's a nice reference too.
Sir Show Day.
Yeah, I like that.
It's nice.
Can we get to the Monday night game?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know after this if we can come back from it.
I think this is a game we're going to be split on per Corey's allusion to it earlier. Pats versus the Bills.
It's in Buffalo.
It is in Buffalo. Who you got, Mr. James?
Me first.
I'll go first.
Well, hold on. I need to reference a couple of things really quickly. And you aren't going to decide it. I promise.
I'm taking the Pats.
Okay.
I'm taking the Pats. I think Bill Belichick's going to have a great scheme to shut down Josh Allen. I don't think it's a good day for him. I think the Pats win by a score, 7 points.
So I'm actually going to go with the Patriots as well. As I said earlier, the Bills will win the finale. The veteran leadership will pay off, and they'll win that matchup. But if you look at what the Bills have done so far this season in terms of meaningful games, we'll call Week 1 a meaningful game just because it's Week 1. You want to start the season off right. They lost. Meaningful game against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They won that one. But that was a different Chiefs game. Or rather, a different Chiefs team, as that was only Week 5 of the season. Followed up on the road in Nashville playing the Titans. They lose. They lost to the Jaguars 2 weeks later. 2 weeks ago, they played Indianapolis and hosted the Colts and got their ass beat 41-15. The Bills have not proven that they can win big games yet. I'm going with the Patriots.
Yeah, we're actually not split at all. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't just support them 25 minutes ago and then not pick them right now.
Fair enough.
I'd be going against my strong worded argument that I presented to you.
Well, and I was on the Bills for later in the season, but like I said earlier, I think they lose this one. I think they win the season finale when it matters.
All right, fair enough. Well, we've got one game this week that we are split on. So Todd is either going to gain a game or he is going to fall a game.
No, I went different than you guys on. I went rogue on one, didn't I?
Nope.
Hold on.
You picked the Raiders, and I picked the Raiders.
Okay, Gypsy. Hold on, Gypsy.
I wrote it down.
You're crazy.
Sure, he has literature right in front of him.
Yeah, but he's a little shiesty fucker. I took the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That must have been.
I took the
Washington okay.
So what I was saying is Todd is going to either fall a game back from me.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
And you, or he's going to gain a game on both of us. I'm going to fall into sole third position. Todd will be in second. You will be in first.
Right on. I dig it. So we are at halftime here of our beautiful, beautiful stream. As an update, my CeeDee Lamb over-under yards, I have him at under 63.5. He has 41 receiving yards right now. Looking a little rough. Dak Prescott, 8.5 rushing yards. I took the over. Do you know how many he has?
0.
That's why the over-under is at 8.5. He's a shiesty little fucker. Anyway, Cowboys are looking good as of right now. We'll see how it ends up, but that's it for us tonight, boys. We're gonna call it a night. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video. If you're feeling extra saucy, go ahead and share the video. And if you're not already following Rally Tale Sports, follow Rally Tale Sports. You can get Line to Gain. You can get Ring 'em Up. You can get our basketball podcast whenever the fuck we get that off the ground. But you can get all of the great sports content right here on Rally Tale Sports. Also, in the description of the video, you'll find my Venmo. You'll find my PayPal. We are still raising money for the Covenant House of Michigan. We have a goal of $150. We're not that far off. We're sitting at 114 right now. If you have $1 that you can Venmo over to us, please do it. Please consider doing it. 13-7 at halftime for the Cowboys. Anything else for we sign off here, fellas?
Yeah, the one thing I would like to add is I hope that everybody enjoys a great 2 days of fantastic college football and then finishes their weekend with a beautiful day of Sunday football and then starts the week off right with a Monday night game of glory. My ass will be in front of the TV far too much for the next 4 days. I hope Mary understands that the next
I can talk to her.
2 days there will be football games on. Yeah, let her know. Just shoot her a quick message. Hey, Mary.
Dear
Corey here.
Mary.
Todd, Todd needs that TV time. He'll be okay. Everything will be okay. No, seriously, this is a huge weekend for college football.
Yep.
The college football playoff gets decided by 11 p.m. on Saturday.
Yep.
So
it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be really, really fun. If you're a Bearcats fan, you better be cheering your sweet little heart out for those kitty cats against the Houston Cougars, and hopefully they solidify their spot in the college football playoff. I will certainly be supporting my dad's alma mater in that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Josh Lehman, thank you for liking the video, man. Bobby, anything before we sign off?
No, man.
Right.
Super fun podcast tonight, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. You can catch the video if you didn't see it all. You can get it all on our page here in just a few short minutes. Everybody have a great rest of your night. Have an awesome weekend, and thank you.